And roll. I want to respect everyone's time. Welcome. Hi from New Jersey, a marketing consultant, Jason. Okay, we got another marketer listening in. So
awesome.
Good to have you here. Okay, welcome everyone to this webinar entitled, it was originally titled on the email, 12 Ways to Boost Your Website's Lead Generation Performance. I realized when I was putting together the slides that was a pretty, I didn't like that title. I thought it was pretty weak. And plus, I didn't want to sit here and go through 12 ways, kind of a checklist. I want to make it a little more dynamic than that. So I changed it to how to generate more quality business from your website without spending any more money on traffic. So this is not an SEO or a lead generation or a lead gen webinar. This is all about how you can maximize your own web presence to be a conversion, a lead generating machine for your business. I want to welcome our co-host or our host, Kyle Hunt of Remodeler's Autopilot, Remodel Your Marketing. And I'll hand it over to Kyle right now to do a little intro and tell you a little bit more about him.
Sure. So just kind of a quick intro, and I want to deliver value right from the get-go. So what you're experiencing here with Joe and I tag teaming this is what I refer to as strategic partners. So in your businesses as remodelers or contractors, some obvious strategic partners would be, if I'm doing remodeling work, it might be an architect, it might be a designer, it might be a landscaper. I kind of refer to a strategic partner as anybody who shares the same ideal client as you do. Anybody who shares the same ideal client as you do. So in Joe's case, Joe's building websites for remodelers. I work with remodelers on more of the sales process and their overall marketing plan. We're pretty logical strategig partners. So over the last few years, we've gotten to know each other. We've built some know, like, and trust. I've referred a good number of clients to Joe, him and his team have done an awesome job. But what I kind of want you to see here is there's all kinds of ways for strategic partners to help each other. I promoted this webinar to my list. There may be some people on my list that may be interested in Joe's services. Frankly, in the next couple of weeks, Joe's going to promote a webinar that I'm doing to his list. There's just a lot of different ways to help each other. And in this world of this ever-changing world of, yes, absolutely, that's what we're going to talk about today. More and more people are going online. That's how they find people. The tried and true getting to know people in person and helping each other is going to be with us next year, 10 years from now, 100 years from now. So I thought that was kind of interesting for you guys to maybe see the connection there, and also to think in your business, who are strategic partners that you could reach out to that would be good referral sources for you, that'd be good relationships for you to continue to build know, like, and trust in. So that's just a little value I wanted to toss in there. And I'm excited to kind of let you get into the content, Joe. I will be manning and managing the chat box, or if you guys have questions, I'll kind of interrupt when I feel the urge to do so as we're going through content. But I'm excited to kind of hear what you're gonna teach us today. Well, maybe one other thing as well. Your website, it's the central hub of all of your marketing efforts. Whether you are mostly referral driven, if somebody refers you, they go online. More and more people are using their smartphone. More and more people are just going online to learn, to educate, to check people out. Reviews are very important. If you are a remodeler, a lot of times, a lot of the clients I work with, they are intimidated by the website of things. They're not really sure how it works. You need to understand it. You need to dig in, not necessarily know the intricacies of every little detail, but you need to be aware enough to be asking the questions, to proactively be updating your website, to be managing it, to be improving it consistently. You guys are here on this call, so obviously that's already part of it, but take one idea from what you hear today and work to implement it. There's an intro. Back to you, sir.
I couldn't have asked for anything more with that intro. First of all, tying it into how the audience can benefit from something like this, kind of a meta on that, this whole strategy between co-marketing and co-promoting and strategic alliances, that's huge. So that was great. And Kyle and I didn't really go through our slides or my slides too much before the presentation, but you definitely hit on a couple of the key things that I'm going to hit on. So I like that congruency.
I looked at them. Yep, I looked at them.
I know. I mean, hey, it was 5 minutes, and that was about 10 minutes ago. So
it's all good.
All right. So who's this for? We're going to dive right in. This is for whether you're a new construction company just getting started and you're overwhelmed with all these different options that are available to you as far as marketing your business, websites, lead gen, the sales process. There's so many moving parts. We all get it. I think most of us on here are business owners or running some sort of construction business. So we all know about those moving parts. So whether you're a new construction company just trying to get started in the right direction, or if you're an established company looking to get to that next level. Looking at the list here of signups, I think that most people are going to fall into that second category of having got to some level of success with word of mouth, referrals, all that good stuff, which is awesome. But looking to really take the business to the next level, or just sustain what you have going forward. Because as Kyle said, 2017, websites, mobile, all this stuff is very important. Differentiating yourself, making sure that you're not getting beat out by your competition or the bigger companies that are going to steal business from you. So this can really apply to everyone. I will say also that we kind of promoted this webinar for remodelers. Kyle's list, certainly our list of our community of contractors, but I know there's probably other contractors that are not in remodeling per se on the webinar, but all these things are really universal. So while we will be using remodelers, these things apply to pretty much any type of construction business. So what is the promised land for a service business? You guys are running a service business. I'm running a service business, very similar. At the end of the day, it's up to remodelers, contractors every day. And when we really drill down to it, we want the same things. We want an abundance of lead flow. We want quality over quantity. These days, you can get, if you need more leads, you can go out and buy them today if you want from dozens of lead generation sites. But that's not really what we're after. We're after those quality leads, those quality prospects, those quality clients where we can do projects that are going to advance our business, we're going to be excited about. We want to get to the point where we can pick and choose the projects we want to work on. So whether that means geographically close to our area without driving all over the state, or whether that means just working on projects that really excite us, that make us want to get out of bed in the morning and go work on them. Especially if you've been in business 5, 10, 20 years, you're at the point now where you know that not all projects are the same. And to really keep you motivated, you want to do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, we want great clients. We want exciting projects. We want people that are going to understand the value that we have to offer. They're going to pay us for what we're worth. They're not looking for the cheapest price. They're looking for quality. They're looking for all those things that we know we can provide. So to me, this is what we're after, and this ties into to your website and to your marketing, because you kind of have to start with the end in mind and define what it is that you want before you build that plan. So my goal from this training session, I use the only way here in caps. Might be a little bit hyperbole, but I do want to underline or underscore how important this stuff is. So the only way you can thrive in this business is to differentiate your company. Whether that means a website, whether that means being on TV or having a storefront in your downtown area, differentiation is key. We all know that if you fail to differentiate, if your market sees you as just the same as all the other companies, then you're always going to be struggling. You're always going to be competing on price. You're never really going to get to that level where you want to get. So that's number one. Number two, the only way to do that is through positioning and marketing. I put on the web because that's not the only way. There's multi-million-dollar construction companies out there with no website. I understand that. So I'm not saying that you have to have an awesome website, but moving forward, 2017, more and more people on computers every day. More and more people are on mobile every single day, on social media, on Facebook and all that. So for the purposes of this webinar, I really want to make sure that I communicate the importance of that. Why should you listen to me? I'll go over this really briefly. No one wants to hear about me. You want to hear how this can apply to you, make your business better. I grew up in a construction business, family business up in New York City, marine construction, barges, tugboats, cranes, as you can see kind of in that picture. That's what we did. I'm not involved in that business anymore. Started Contractor Dynamics about 5 years ago. And in that, 4.5 years ago, in that time frame, we built over 200 websites just for contractors. So that's what I really want to communicate here, is that we really strive to understand your business, understand how your prospective customers are evaluating your business, how they're buying from you, how they're doing their research, how they're making buying decisions, what they're looking for, what they value, and really getting into that psychology and that marketing. So that's what I really want to communicate there, is that we work only with contractors. The learning curve when a contractor works with us is a lot shorter than, say, a general marketing company where they're doing all sorts of different things. And I personally love it. I love being able to have an impact on a business. I love getting to know your businesses and knowing what keeps you up at night and what excites you and all that. So I personally love that. So the third reason that you should listen to me is because Kyle says so. And
Boom.
And Kyle is an authority in the industry. So that's that. Impact. This stuff can have a huge impact. I'm just going to highlight a few of our clients that have had success implementing these things. And I'm not taking 100% credit for saying, hey, we transformed this guy's business or that guy's business. These are clients that have the mindset where they're waking up in the morning and they're thinking about how they can improve their businesses, how they can market their businesses better, how they can differentiate, what they can do, what kind of touch points that they can add into their business to make sure that they're giving their customers the best possible experience, how they can make every single touch point with their market a 10 out of 10. So these are some of the clients that we have who have really embraced this over the years and have seen tremendous growth. Stephen Samuels here of DS Home Renovations here in New Jersey is on the cover of the current Remodeling magazine, the print edition. Really cool. He's really excited about it. They're really focused on design. Stephen was in our office last week. He has 2 cell phones. I don't know how he does it. They're both ringing off the hook. So he definitely needs to hire some people, but they're doing really well. Stephen has really embraced the, not only doing the work, but doing everything that's involved in presentation materials. They focus a lot on design, on making sure the customers have a fantastic experience. They have amazing photos of their projects. He and his team are really doing a top-notch job. So he actually was one of our first clients, I would say 4 years ago, and Stephen loves to design. So he comes home after his long day of remodeling, and he sits at his computer, and he would send us actual design files of his website and say, this is exactly how I want our website to be built. So in this Remodeling magazine issue, he actually talks about that, how he designed the website, which is 100% true. I mean, obviously it's a collaborative effort, but that's how much he cares about this stuff and how much he values it. So Stephen's doing really well there. Another client of ours down in, originally from New Jersey, now with a couple of locations down in Texas. We were working with them for 6 months, and Nick had to tell his team, or tell us rather, to slow down because our sales team couldn't handle all the influx of new business. So I'll take a small piece of credit for that. However, Nick is very smart. He rented an office in a prime downtown location. He invested heavily in his website, in his marketing and his business. He did direct mail. He invests in like shirts and hats and gear and wrapping his trucks and things like that. So he's young, he's smart. He really understands the value of investing in his business. He's seen tremendous impact. Now he's got 3 locations in his remodeling and roofing business. A few of you might know, especially from New Jersey, Neil, Andrew, and Jason, DesignBuildPros. They came to us several years ago as well when they were doing a lot of trade shows. They were doing a lot of like those in-person networking events at night and whatnot. They're really grinding, really through brute force have built up their business to a really good point. But what they were lacking was the whole web aspect and the lead generation from the web. So Neil says now every day he can go to his computer and get a qualified lead that's coming through his website, through his web presence. And that lessens their reliance on having to invest heavily from a monetary and a labor perspective in those home shows, those different trade shows, those different events and conferences. They still do those things because it's really important, but they rely less and less on them because they have this kind of lead gen machine going on. And again, Neil is tireless. I think I saw his first Facebook post this morning was at 5 something a.m. So they are tireless as far as like sharing everything on social media, taking great pictures, email marketing. They have a really good team in place. So again, not to kind of toot our own horn here, but to highlight the companies that really are waking up and thinking about this stuff every day can really make a tremendous difference. So what I want to really focus on is what is it that you want? And I purposely didn't phrase this as what do you want? I want to highlight the it, because everyone has a different it. Everyone has a different why. We've all heard the, start with why, what's your why and all that. That's not what this webinar is about. But when it comes to, hey, I need a new website. I need to generate more leads. I need to take my business to the next level. I need to do all these things. Kind of come back a few steps and figure out what it is that you want, because a lot of remodelers have different goals. So you might want, if you're doing roofing or like more of a volume-based business, you might want just a ton of leads. That's great. If you're a smaller and you want to have control over all your projects, then maybe you just want a handful of leads. We met with a contractor a couple weeks ago. Kathy, you might be on the webinar, I'm not sure. But you guys weren't looking for a ton of new business. You do nice work. So we kind of had a long discussion about that with the general manager of the business, and kind of decided that what you're really looking for is one new quality project per month. One new $80,000 kitchen project per month. You're not looking to do a ton of projects. You guys are very high quality. That's mostly what I hear when I talk with remodelers. I'm not looking to 10x their business next year, because obviously we know that we have to keep a certain level of quality, but it's either maintaining the same volume, but just doing fewer projects, or kind of increasing by 20%, just getting some good new projects. Stephen Samuels, DES Home Innovations, who I highlighted earlier, they're doing a lot of kitchen and bathroom remodeling projects, and they're doing really well. But one of the reasons that he came to our office a couple weeks ago to talk about is that they want to start doing some of those larger whole home renovations. So instead of the $100,000 kitchen, they want to get into that $250,000 renovation projects. So that's what we start with. Okay, what is it that you want? And then how do we position your website? How do we position all your marketing to make sure that you're attracting what you want, whether that's from website traffic, or whether that's from referral business, or people for whom you've already done business, which I know Kyle will touch on later. That can be huge as well. So start with the end in mind, start with your why, figure out what the it is. All those things are kind of different ways of phrasing. Just figure out what you want before you kind of dive in and get into this stuff. Again, starting with the objectives, start with the end in mind. Do you want a quantity of leads, a quantity of new business? Do you want a quality of new business? What types of projects are you after? I speak with a lot of contractors, and I'm sure Kyle can say the same thing. We had that initial consult call, and like, I need a new website. All right, well, why do you need a new website? What's going on? What types of projects are you looking for? Some people know right off the bat. Some people are just like, I don't know. I just want more business. That's not really a strategic way to go about it. But usually through the process of like asking a few questions and going through the exercise, you can really pinpoint. Okay, well, I don't really want this, but I want some more of that. So like, how do we get that? So identify those types of projects, or something else. We also have clients that are not necessarily looking for more new business. They're looking for maybe to hire new employees to build out their team. I know that's a big challenge with a lot of companies these days, finding quality craftsmanship, quality carpenters, finished carpenters, quality subcontractors that are reliable, that can keep your jobs on track. So maybe that's what you're looking for with your marketing. When it comes to attracting great subcontractors or great employees to your business, guess what? They're on your website too. They're evaluating you. Who is this company? What do they stand for? Are they going to be enjoyable to work with? Are they going to be around in 2 years? Who else is working here? What are they like? What do they do? What's the office culture like? What's the if you don't have an office, what is the team culture like? So not everyone is after leads. Not everyone's after getting new jobs, making you more money. I get that. So whether it's, again, employees, building out your team, getting subcontractors, becoming well-known in your area. We had another contractor visit our office last week from Ohio. Brett, he's after those things, but kind of has a longer-term vision. But what he really wants is to build a brand in his local community, in a small community in Ohio, become well-known in the community. They do a lot of community outreach and community projects and whatnot. They really want to be well-known. A lot of other contractors, as some of you might resonate with, are competitive. So, hey, why is my competitor who doesn't do the quality of work that we do, why are they getting all the business? I don't get it. Why are they outranking me in Google? So whatever it is, figure out that objective and kind of build a plan around it. We're going to get into the website process a little bit here, and I'll go through some examples. So what we want to do is understand the conversion process. So this webinar is not about generating leads. It's not about generating traffic. It's not about SEO or Facebook ads, Google AdWords. We do those things, but this webinar is focused on the website as a conversion mechanism. So you want to, as Kyle said at the top of the webinar, it's the hub. Your website's a hub for everything, whether you're doing yard signs, door hangers, emails, online marketing, whatever it might be. You want to bring people to your website where you can have that conversation with them. How are you different? Explain what you do, show them your pictures. So your website becomes that conversion mechanism that you have to drive traffic to. And again, whether it's word of mouth or paid advertising or TV or billboards, whatever, you drive traffic to that conversion mechanism. So we have to think about how people are moving through your site so they eventually take that next step. So what I would encourage all of you to do after the webinar, or at some point maybe this weekend, just kind of clear out 20 minutes in your schedule and view your website and your overall web presence as your next great client. Picture your next great client, who that is, what they look like, how old they are, what they're after, what their pain points are, all those things, and think about what they're looking for in your website. Actually go to your website on your computer, go to your website on your phone, on your iPad, Google your company name. It's important to see what shows up there. Hopefully you're dominating that whole first page when someone Googles your company name, and you have some nice 5-star reviews all over the place. So think about what that experience is, because a lot of us, like Kyle also said, we're not looking for, a lot of our business is referral business, which is fantastic. That's probably the best type of business, right? But if my best friend refers me to Kyle the contractor, I trust my best friend, but I'm also going to go online and check out Kyle the contractor. You know, what is this company all about? So I call it trust but verify. So picture your next best great referral. What are they going to see when they go online and research your business? Is what they find going to be consistent with what their best friend told them about you? So those are some of the things, like psychologically speaking, what people are looking for. From a technical,
Joe,
sure.
Can I hammer home a few things there?
Sure.
Take a drink. You're doing awesome. I'll take over for 60 seconds.
Go for it.
And everybody, as he's going through, I'm capturing a few takeaways just in the chat box. So look at that. And if you have questions, chime in. The thought of putting in 20 minutes, fresh set of eyes, and looking at it like okay, this is my ideal prospect. My ideal prospect dropped out of the sky, boom, here they are, and they're coming to my website. What are they seeing? You know, are you proud of it? Is it super outdated? Would you kind of apologize and say, well, you know, we actually have some projects that we've done over the last 2 years that better represent the type of work that we've been doing recently? Are we differentiating ourselves at all? Or does our website kind of look, talk, and act the same? Pulling it up on your phone. We know, if you guys are paying attention at all, that more and more searches are happening through tablets and phones. What does our website look like? Is it hard to navigate? Is it mobile optimized? Is it easy for them to find our phone number? Just experience it as you would a prospect. You know, have your significant other or spouse pull up the website and just comment as they're going through it. Maybe have somebody, a key person on your team, do the same thing. Like be just honest. I think a lot of times we shy away from that because we know it's not up to snuff. This is important. This is the central hub of all of our marketing efforts, and it needs attention. It needs attention. Carry on.
Awesome, Kyle. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's so key. So that's it from that aspect of it. And then there's also like the tools that we can use, and we can talk about these more in the Q&A if you want, but there's tools like heat maps where you can actually put a piece of code on your website, and a lot of these things are free, at least for like a 30-day trial. Put a heat map on your website to understand where people are actually going on your website. How long are they staying on your website? Looking at the Google Analytics, what pages are they looking at? How many pages are they looking at? What's the first page they go to after they land on the home page? Probably going to be your portfolio or gallery. Are they going to be impressed about what they see, or are you going to have to, like Kyle said, apologize and say, oh yeah, we've got lots of pictures on our hard drive, but we haven't put them up there yet. Well, people don't know that they're on your hard drive, and hopefully they don't have access to your hard drive. So from that kind of marketing perspective and from the tools end of things, put those data points together, and again, be self-aware and ask yourself what's missing and how can you make things better. Let's see. I'm gonna navigate. All right, so we're gonna look at a couple website examples here. So I promised you 12 things or something like that. So we're actually going to go through it and identify some concrete things and show you some examples. what we want to identify, what we want to have on the homepage, and overall, to back myself up a little bit, just keep things simple. Don't overthink things. There's a million different widgets and all these different things we can put on our websites these days or in our businesses in general. Don't get overwhelmed with that. Again, if you have a clear if you have a clear why, if you have a clear objective, that helps to build a lot of clarity around what you need and don't need. So when this cool new tool comes around that maybe you've heard about from another remodeler, or you get via cold email, or you see on Facebook, you can really quickly understand, all right, is that going to help me achieve my objective or not? So that's another reason why having that objective is essential. So on your homepage, what we want to do is we want to answer the 5-second test. When someone lands on your homepage, we want to answer within 5 seconds what you do, where you do it, for whom you do it, and why should people contact you, or why should people stick around your website and poke around more. People don't have attention spans these days. You have 5 seconds max. Some people might say 2, some people might say 10. I say 5 to make that first impression. Give people options to contact you or to opt in. Maybe you have, make sure you have a phone number, usually in the top right, a contact page. People are looking for those things in the top right, at the bottom of your page. I go to a lot of contractor websites, and again, maybe you don't want a phone number on your website because you don't want people actually calling you, and you just want your website to be for those people that already know you. But have that phone number in the top right. You want to build trust, social proof, establish credibility, build trust with reviews and testimonials. Credibility can be done through logos on your website like NARI, NKBA, NAHB, a Better Business Bureau, Google 5-star rating. All those things help to build trust and credibility. Make the journey easy for people. So we know that people want to go see your pictures. They want to go see maybe about you or about your team. Well, make sure they can find those things easily. Don't make people jump through hoops to find pictures on your website. And don't overwhelm people. I think that, and I'm guilty of this too, trying to add too many things to our website. Oh, well, you know, this type of visitor might want to look at this, and we should have this because I think that's pretty cool. Don't overwhelm people. Just keep things as simple as possible. Again, we don't have attention spans these days. I'm going to drag my screen in here to show you some examples. Kyle, are you able to see this here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's a client down in Virginia. They do a lot of things on their own, but he goes to this website and immediately establishes credibility. They have the NARI accredited remodeling company. This is a new thing, actually. I think Leo is one of only a handful, literally, in the country that has this. So that adds credibility there. National award winning. It shows you exactly what they do, kitchen and bath design build. The picture communicates a lot as well. It shows that they're toward the higher end of things. They're not just kind of doing any old kitchen renovation project. And it shows where they operate, the Richmond, Virginia metro area, and they've been around for over 20 years. So just in this homepage above the fold here, which is what you see, they have trust, credibility, where they operate, what they do, how long they've been in business, and an easy way for people to find their portfolio. Scrolling down the homepage, we have a little more trust here, personalizing the website. Personalization, the easiest way to differentiate, because you can say all you want, but if you talk about your business, show some personality, it's just a great way to stand out. People might be looking for different things. We can see their different services here really quickly. What are clients saying? Yes, they actually have clients, and people say good things. Read more praise. They have some video testimonials. Fantastic. Get those if you can. These video testimonials, as an aside, are going to become bigger and bigger every single year as we go forward. So get ahead of the curve, get as many video testimonials as you can. You don't have to be fancy about it. You're at your client's home, turn on the iPhone. Everyone has a smartphone. Capture that right away. A lot of us have an ebook or consumer awareness guide, as I like to call them. So that's another option for someone to contact you. Those trust logos that I talked about, Hughes, all these different things. And not everyone's going to have all these different things, but everyone has at least 3 or 4 that you can add. Reserve a consultation, so just make it as easy as possible for people to contact you. Social media, again, add social proof. Pretty much everyone these days is going to go to your Facebook page, check things out there. Most people are going to go to Hughes as well. Some of these other things, Instagram, more and more so, and YouTube as well. So I don't think we have too much on this page, but we're giving people a path to find out exactly what they're looking for there. So that's an example of a homepage layout. Differentiate, make a connection. We've all heard of those tried and true phrases, on time and on budget, we do things right the first time. That's obvious, right? That's kind of, we should do those things. But the easiest way to differentiate, like I said, is make a connection, tell a personal story, show some video, show some pictures of your team, your trucks, your jobs, your before and afters, the ugly pictures of the demo and the kitchen's demo. People like to see that stuff. Use stories in your project. So don't just show your after pictures, but show some before pictures. Maybe show some things that went wrong. We opened up this wall and here's what went wrong. This set us back a couple days, but this is how we overcame that. Really captivate your audience in a way that other contractors and remodelers aren't, because if you put in this basic effort, the bar, in my opinion, in construction is set kind of low when it comes to marketing or construction business. So you do these things and you can immediately captivate your audience in a way that your competitors aren't doing.
Gotcha. Joe, if I can interject, there are a couple things you hit on. You hit on the video side, and one of the things you said was more and more, that's going to become more and more important. When it comes to differentiating, we can differentiate through words, right? We can have our 5-point promise. These are the main things that clients tell us and that we really focus on to differentiate us from everybody else. We can share our story. If you go to my website, even, here's how I started my business. And that's personal. And what we're going for is to build some know, like, and trust. But on the video side, I see my friend and client, Bob Burnside, on the webinar. Hi, Bob. And I'll tell a quick story. Bob is, out of all of my clients across the country, he's the one that's really embraced the thought of taking videos. But frankly, we've never even paid anybody to take videos. He's got his iPhone, and we take them. And as an example of the power of video, we talked about strategic partners earlier. One of Bob's architect strategic partners referred Bob to some homeowners. And I remember vividly when Bob forwarded this over to me, it's been a few years now, but the architect said, Bob, I referred so-and-so to you, just so you know, they spent the entire night the other night watching all of your videos on YouTube and on your website. And when Bob met them, they already know the sound of his voice, that he has a sense of humor. They've seen all of these little details of how fireside home construction is different. They've seen all the little things they do on job sites. They just know him. They just know him. So when you're able to make a connection, when you're able to build some know, like, and trust through video, it's just very, very powerful. And I've seen it in many instances.
Awesome, Kyle. Thanks again. And when you get to that point where people are staying up and watching your videos, guess what? They're not calling you to ask what your price is. They're calling you to say, hey, I want to work with you. When can we start? Obviously, you can't be triple what the next guy is, but you're not competing on price anymore. You're completely separating yourself from the pack.
One more quick example. I see my boy Nate in Lincoln, Nebraska on here as well on the webinar. And Nate invested some money. He spent a few $1,000s to get a nice professional video done, and it's fantastic. And as an example of what you just said, I showed my wife, it was last year when he got it done, and I showed it to my wife, and I just said, tell me what you think about this. And her conclusion was, I just want to, can he come and do our kitchen? Was basically what she said, because she saw how personable he was, how down to earth he was, how professional he was, the type of work he did, the clients that were also intertwined in the video, how happy they were. And that emotion, that connection, it's huge. It's huge. So
it is. I thought you were going to go in a different direction with that, but I will tack on something else, because this video thing is super important. Just to be fully transparent, we have a lot of videos on the Contractor Dynamics website of me as a talking head explaining different things. And I first wanted to start out, the goal of that was to answer frequently asked questions, one per video, like a 2 or 3 minute video. So we hired this video company that's in the same building as us. Once a month, I would go down downstairs into their little studio and shoot 4 videos. So we'd have 1 per week on our site. And they're extremely dry and boring, honestly. So, I paid a decent amount of money for them. They produced them and edited them, and the lighting and all this nonsense. And I'm kind of embarrassed about them. So what we've been doing lately is just turning on the iPhone. I bought this little tripod, I bought this little shotgun mic that plugs into the iPhone. And I think that's going to be much more of a connection. It's more real, right? It's not this overproduced, like formal, button down shirt type of thing. So don't get overwhelmed with the technology or the hiring a video guy. Just step away and just be real.
I like it.
Cool. So I'll kind of speed this ahead a little bit because I want to, the video thing is really important, but give people a compelling reason to take the next step. There's too many websites that we all see. Hey, opt in for our newsletter, or give us your email, sign up for our newsletter. Well, all right, well, if I give you my email, like, what am I going to get? Am I going to get spammed? Am I going to get sales messages? Or what kind of value am I going to get? So instead of asking someone just for their email, tell them what they're going to get. Hey, if you want our best kitchen remodeling tips in your inbox every single month, sign up for this list. Or if you're not sure how to really evaluate different contractors, well, we have this consumer awareness guide that's going to show you how to do that. So feel free to give us your email and we'll send that to you. So just make it more compelling, right? People don't want to give up their email address or even their contact information to you for no reason. So that's also true with contact forms. Don't just say, contact us, or schedule an estimate, or schedule an inspection, whatever it might be. Let people know what they're going to get. Fill out this form so we can schedule a complimentary 15-minute phone call so we can better understand the project that you have in mind and see if we might be a good fit for that project. And after that 15-minute phone call, if we decide that it's mutually beneficial for us to have another phone call for an in-person meeting, then we can do that. And if it's not, then we'll point you in the right direction. So let people know what they're getting in exchange for giving you their contact info. That's really going to encourage. It might discourage some people from filling that out, but it's going to encourage the right people to fill that out because you're going to get higher quality inquiries from that. So that's something that is very simple to do. Just revise your contact page and your calls to action there. Touch points, pre-qualification. After someone submits a contact form on your website, take them to a thank you page. Set it up so they get an automatic confirmation email. Maybe they can schedule a call with you if you want to do that. And you can also send them emails to prep for call. I'm going to cue Kyle in a second, but I want to show you some examples of that. So I'm going to drag my screen over here. A thank you page. So here's a very simple thank you page. Someone submits a contact form on your website. They immediately get redirected to this page. Hey, thanks for contacting us. We'll be in touch shortly. And here's some other touch points. Here's some other things that you can learn about us. This company can make it more personal. We can put a picture of the owner or the biz dev or the design consultant on here to make it more personal. But that's what we're looking at to make sure that, hey, I gave you my contact info and we acknowledged it, and here's some other information. Here is the confirmation email example. This is on a back end of a website here, but we have the same content in an email here. Hey, thanks for contacting us. Check out this other stuff. We're going to contact you as soon as possible. So it lets people know that you're on the ball. You're going to contact them. That's important to you. You can also take it a step further and add in a consult link if you would like. So there's different tools out there. We use Calendly, which is one of them. But if you want, people can schedule a 15-minute phone call right here on your website. Depends how qualified you want to get with that. You might not want to get on the phone with everyone who wants to schedule a call with you. I don't like to do that personally. So different strokes for different folks here. What we do is something like this, where once people get a couple of our emails, I'll send them this link, which has a link to schedule a call. So someone can select the day, say next Wednesday, they can select the time. This link only goes out to people that have demonstrated some level of qualification, not just everyone. So that's what I think that most of you would want to do, not have something on your website like this. So those are just some examples of what you can do to add some touch points in there. Kyle, I will hand over to you. This is what Kyle specializes in. He takes people that are on the left and he moves them over to the right.
Boom, done.
That's it.
I'm gonna make it. It's 11:40, so I'm gonna make it very brief so we have some extra time for Q&A. So don't do it now, but write it down. If you go to remodelersautopilot.com. So when those leads do start kind of flowing in, somebody did fill out the contact form. When you have a full sales pipeline. The ability to automate a lot of these different touch points in communication is really important. Keeping your sales pipeline very organized, being able to click a button and out goes a nice appointment confirmation email with a date and time, out goes a nice professional postcard. When the job is done, being able to click completed job sequence and out goes our end of project survey. 10 days later, a requestly review on Google. 6 months later, hey, it's been 6 months. We just wanted to check in. Thank you again for your business. To automate a lot of that communication, along with having a done-for-you email newsletter every single month, some done-for-you social media posts. That's what I primarily do, and I'm selling. And look at these people. They went from like overwhelmed, I have so much to do, to just happy as can be. So that's it. That's the plug for Remodelers Autopilot. Back to you, Joe. It was like
awesome.
a commercial.
It's a commercial, but it ties into what we do, because none of this stuff exists in a vacuum, right? Marketing, as I'll get to in a minute, is something that should be baked into every aspect of your business. Touch points are key. In the service business, we need to make people trust us, and to know they can trust us. So kind of wrapping it up here, I want to leave some time for Q&A. Does this stuff really work? I've been in business 30 years. Like, this is the new thing. Does this really work? Are people doing this? Well, more and more people are on the web and mobile every single day. No doubt. People's noses are stuffed in their smartphones. Probably half of you are on Facebook right now, or checking your email, or doing something else on the web. It's a huge part of our lives. So yes, this is where your prospective customers are. Consumer buying behavior has shifted. So no longer is someone going online looking for kitchen remodelers and calling 5 of them today. They're going to do the research for a couple weeks or a couple months. What are they going to find online about you and your competitors? What you have online going to be enough to get them to call you over the next guy? That's huge, that consumer buying behavior. Competition is stronger than ever. Not only are you competing against other remodelers in your area, as we all know, there's bigger companies, lead gen companies out there. They're popping up every day with tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in venture capital funding that are competing for the same eyeballs that you are. And we don't want to be held hostage or held captive by those guys. So you need to really make sure that you're putting this work in. You're building your own platform and not relying on anyone else's platform. There is a lot of competition out there. So yes,
I heard somebody describe it the other day as your website has the potential, or it already is, your best salesperson. It's educating, it's building know, like, and trust, it's teaching, it's showing. Would we neglect our best salesperson, right? We would continue to invest in them. We would continue to put effort towards it. It's just a fact. Even, you look at just the last few years, that 55, 60-year-old female, or even male, they're on Facebook. They're online more and more, right? 10 years ago, Facebook? I don't do that now. Some guy I follow mentions this. It's kind of funny. Now your dad, who wasn't doing anything 5 years ago, now is sending emojis, right? It's like unheard of. And things just keep changing quicker. Well, we do know we don't have a crystal ball at what this industry and what our businesses are going to look like in 5 years. But what we can see is that it is becoming more and more online. People want to go and learn and educate, and you got to be a leader there. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to run a remodeling business. Now we need to continue to double down and invest the time, energy, effort, content creation, videos in our website. It's just very, very important.
Truth. So there's a lot of people are wondering, well, this stuff sounds really cool. I can see that it works, but is it going to work for me in my business? Question to you, is your business unique? I mean, we all think that our businesses are unique, but at the end of the day, we're providing a service for a group of people, and we need them to know they can trust us, so we can provide that service to more people that we want. So at the end of the day, our businesses are really not that unique. If this is working for others in the industry, which it undoubtedly is, I'm sure you see some competitors down the street and they're doing really well, and maybe they're doing really well because they are investing in their websites and their marketing and their overall web presence and whatnot. If it's working for others in the industry, there's no reason it can't work for you. Your business is not that unique. Same with us. Our business is not that unique from other marketing companies.
It better have some uniqueness, but
yes. But yes. Are you committed to it? That's what Kyle said. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Are you committed to taking pictures? Are you committed to getting reviews? Are you committed to either working on your website or hiring someone to work on it for you on a continual basis? The commitment is key. Make sure you have the resources. I know a lot of us as small business owners have the best of intentions, but we really need to make sure that we are dedicating the resources. So whether it's us at 11 o'clock at night or during the day, or whether it's our office staff, or whether it is an outsourced company or freelance or whatever it is, consistency and dedicating those resources is going to be the key to making it work. Will people show up? Okay, this is great. I have an awesome website, my best pictures, reviews, all this, that, and the other thing. How do I tell people about my website? Again, this webinar is not about getting traffic to your website, but there's a lot that you can do. Tell people about your website. Make it a part of your business. So when you're on the phone with a prospect, point them to a page on your website. When you're in a sales presentation at someone's home, bring up your website on your iPad, show them your projects, and have fun with it. It doesn't have to be, hey, I build a website and I need to pay for traffic to get there. Have fun with it. Maybe a contest on your website. There's a bunch of different things you can do, but people will show up if you are actually making it a part of your business. Finally, we want to make sure that we simplify everything. You might have heard the phrase minimum viable product, MVP. I want to talk about minimum viable website. So don't overcomplicate, don't overwhelm. Make sure you have these essentials in place, and be curious and experiment with things. Sometimes, a lot of times, contractors like, oh, is this going to work? Joe, is this going to work if I do this blog or I do this thing or do this video? And I'm always happy to tell people, I have no idea. I'm not sure. You don't know until you put something out there and see how people respond to it. Put those videos out there, see if you get comments. Start talking about your projects on Facebook, see if you get any interaction. So a lot of this is about experimenting, testing and measuring and seeing what works and what doesn't. And it's always, always, always a work in progress. It's not a set it and forget it type thing. So, you guys excited about what you've learned here a little bit, I hope. Probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed drinking out of a fire hose. But I want to let you know that you can do this. We're all smart. We're all dedicating an hour on a Friday afternoon, Friday morning here to improve our businesses. This is possible to do whether you're doing it yourselves or hiring someone else to do it, but we can all do this. We can all make our marketing better, our businesses better. We can all kind of reach that level of our business that we know we're capable of. I'm not selling anything here besides get on the phone with me if you want. This link will take you to that calendar scheduler that I mentioned before, that I showed you before. Again, I don't normally do this, but I know that everyone on this webinar is serious about their business, and we're not here to waste each other's time. So if you are interested in just getting a second look on your website even, I'm happy to do that. If you want to see how we can help, of course, happy to do that as well. If we can't help, point you in the right direction, I'll be happy to do that too. Just I really am passionate about helping and providing that clarity. I know there's so much information out there. It's really difficult to make sense of it all and know what you should be doing and should not be doing. So I'd like to provide as much clarity as possible on that. So just go to that link, contractordynamics.com/remodel. It'll redirect you to that calendar link, and we can get on the horn next week or the week after that, whatever suits you. And I would love to get to know as many of you as possible. I'd like to leave. We have about 10 minutes for Q&A. If we're still doing Q&A at the end of the hour, feel free to go, or go whenever you need to go. We'll stick around until about 5 after the hour, and then I know Kyle has to get on the road, and I have to get going too. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. Kyle, go ahead if you want to.
Yeah, we've got a couple of them. So when I was talking about Nate earlier, he didn't ask a question, but he did write, "Oh shucks," I think he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed that, but cool. MC had asked kind of early on, I think we were talking about the ideal client profile. He said, focusing on only one ideal client profile, ? Or should we choose 2 or 3 if it's necessary? So can you unmute specific people by chance, or if I don't know if he can give a little context to it, or otherwise I'll kind of take a stab at it. I'm assuming just.
I don't know if I want to get into that.
Yeah, let's not.
I still know how to do it. So
yeah, the technology has been working beautifully so far. So my thoughts on that. When you are a specialist, so for example, I can pull it from my own business. I can pull it from examples, but when I only work with remodelers, and in particular, ones that are doing kitchens, baths, additions, and some new homes. But my bread and butter is guys and girls that are doing kitchens, baths, additions. When you are a specialist and you focus really, really tight on something, you're more valuable. You go a lot deeper into a very specific vertical. When we're all things to all people, we're generalists, and we're not as, and frankly, we're just not as good. So MC, if he's kind of talking about, I guess he's talking to ideal client, but I'm talking about products. Let's put some more emphasis and content and pictures and everything more on the kitchen side. It doesn't mean you can't have a page that talks about this or this, but that's where I was kind of taking at least his question. So hopefully that's helpful. I don't know if you had another thought on it. I got another question queued up too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you answered that great. What comes down to me a lot of times is that mindset. For us, is it someone who's invested or willing to invest in the growth of the business? For a remodeler, is it someone who appreciates design and is willing to pay you for that? Or is it someone who appreciates value? So you can really, that can be kind of like the psychographic end of it, and not just what are they looking for, but how are they thinking about their project? So that can be another way to look at it too.
Cool. Sue had asked earlier, we get a fair amount of traffic, but it seems to be coming in via Yelp or Google. Problem is that they don't hit our website and don't really look at our company. We're still having to filter out a lot of tire kickers. How can we drive them to the site? What you take that one?
Yelp and what was the other one?
Google.
Oh,
so I don't know if we're talking Google local or.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of touched on it a couple times. I'm biased, of course, but I think your website is the hub, and you should really be focused on building that out. And we have clients who pay Yelp for advertising on Yelp, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna attract leads from something like Yelp, and I'm not picking on them in particular, but any of the lead gen platforms, the types of homeowners that are going there are the types that are most likely looking for a good deal, the lowest price. If I'm looking at my kitchen remodeling done, I'm not going to Home Advisor or Yelp. I'm going to go directly to maybe some more design-oriented websites such as Hughes, Facebook, whatnot, and going to individual company websites. So if they're not converting well, that's because I think the people that are going to those types of lead gen websites are not the people that are ideal for you, it sounds like. So what can you do to get people directly to your website?
Yeah. So I think the way I would add to that too is need to work on the search engine optimization, right? So we want, when people are searching those specific keywords, those city, state, to get our actual website to show up. There's only so much you can control with Yelp and Google. But there are some things you can control. In particular with Google, how many Google reviews do we have? How can we increase the number there? We can get into our local Google profile and we can upload our logo. We can upload photos. We can work on the description a little bit more. There's things that you can control to help you there. But I think the big thing is there's not a lot you can do there. So two things. One, work on getting your website to show up in the search results better. And then number two gets into a little bit more on the sales training side. It sounds like you're already qualifying them, but just making sure that when you hear, oh, I was just searching, I found you through Yelp, that should be a little bit of a yellow flag that says, I need to take a little bit more time on this initial phone call, qualifying them, talking to them, getting to know their project more, so that I'm not wasting my time, because your time is your most precious asset. All right, questions are cruising in here. We're kitchen and bath. Or let me ask you this one. So this is a question for you, Joe. If we are working with a few clients, if you, Joe, are working with a few clients in the same area, like Central New Jersey, is there a diminished value because you're helping generate leads basically for competitors? It's probably a question you get from time to time.
Oh, yeah. Usually no. I mean, there's so much, right now, 2017, construction, remodeling are booming right now. There's a lot of demand. Most remodelers are not looking to 10x their business this year, next year, whatever it might be. I kind of come at it from an abundance perspective. There's a lot of business out there for everyone, but yeah. So we have a few clients in, say, Dallas, for example. But Dallas is a huge metropolitan area, gigantic. So that's fine, and I'm fine with being transparent about that with our clients. If there are two clients, say two remodelers in the same kind of suburban area, we're, in good faith going to be transparent about that and maybe not work with one or work with them. So, yeah, I mean, every marketing company operates, a different way. I'm not saying we can only have one roofing contractor in Dallas, for example, because there's more than enough work for 100 of them. So,
right.
I try to be honest and transparent as much as possible.
You're similar to me, where probably not one in that area, but maybe two, maybe three, depending on the size. And then Joe, will you have 10 roofers in Dallas? No, right? Because we do respect the clientele. But it's a good question, and it's a valid question. But there is that mindset that there's a lot to go around is a good one. Jason asked, what are you using for marketing automation? I've invested some money to customize Entreport is the program that I use to make my Remodeler's Autopilot program run. Josh asked, we are a kitchen and bath design build business, and we have always had a solid amount of referral business. Do you have recommendations on how to capitalize on that further to drive those quality leads?
I think that's probably more up your alley, Kyle. I would say be more proactive about asking for them. I think a lot of referral business comes in. I'm guilty of it as well. Referral business comes in, which I'm very grateful for, but I'm not good about asking for it. So if you can put it into your process at the beginning of the project too. I mean, I know some people who do this and say, hey, Kyle, we're starting your kitchen remodeling project. I want to let you know that my goal is to do such an amazing job that you're going to refer me to everyone you know. So you're kind of setting that expectation at the beginning, obviously earning that, and then at the end saying, hey, remember when I told you I was going to do an amazing job and you're going to refer me to all your friends? Let's talk about that. Who do you know?
Yeah. The way I soften that up a little bit is, if it is good, early in the process, my job is to make this such a remarkable experience that whether it's at the end of the job, 3 months later, or 3 years later, you're going to happily refer us to your friends, and family. That's our goal. That's what we're after. I think what Josh is going for on the second part of the question, do you have recommendations on how to capitalize on that further to drive those quality leads? Yeah, I guess it's not just specific to the website. So making sure that every referral that comes your way, even the ones that don't necessarily lead to work, that you're recognizing them, that you're calling them, that you're thanking them. John Jantz wrote a book called Referral Engine. So he studied small business referral programs and just hundreds of them. And if John was on the call and we said, hey, John, should we have some type of gift, some type of offer that we give people when they refer us business? He would say unequivocally, yes, absolutely. Whether that is a $100 gas card, whether that is, hey, every time you refer us to somebody that turns into a job, we'll donate $100 to the charity of your choice. Whether it is, we'll give you 2 hours of complimentary handyman service to take care of something around your home. Giving them something, there's something about our human brains that when we're kind of rewarded for it, we do it more often. We just do it more often. So, Josh, I would look at what can you do to kind of surprise and delight them. Nothing over the top. A lot of times when it's like $100 cash or something, that just doesn't feel authentic. A lot of my clients do kind of that donate to the charity of your choice. That feels and it's just good win-win-win all around. So I would lean into, is there something specific referral program wise that you could do? I would try to capture more and more video testimonials. Nate, if Nate's still on the line, he grabbed one of the video testimonials that he had was from a local doctor or dentist, but people recognize him. As far as driving more referrals, if you have some people that are well known in your marketplace, that when people see him, they go, oh, Dr. Jantz is a, I don't know why I use Jantz because I think I just talked about John Jantz. Dr. Smith is, they see him on TV, they see him on billboards. What an awesome third-party endorsement and a way to amplify that potential referral. So there's a few thoughts. Joe, answer this one. How would you keep an association website from getting too busy? So I think this is from Therese, probably a home builder association website, from getting too busy if that site is both for members of the HBA as well as the public. So kind of a specific one, but.
Yeah, that's always a tough one because you have 2 audiences there. You have 2 customers there. It's very, very difficult. Go to this website, you know what? I'll type it in the chat. HBAR.org. It's the Home Builders Association of Richmond, Virginia. We have no association with them or no business relationship or anything like that. They just rebuilt their website this summer. I think it's really well done. I think it's really clear, really clean. They've got a lot of cool things going on there. So I think they do a really good job. I think instead of me kind of blabbering on about it, check out them. I think that would be kind of a best practice example of that.
Yeah, I think my thought is, Therese, the fact that you're even asking the question is a good sign.
Right.
Continue to think about I know exactly why you're asking the question, because 90% of association websites are busy. And oh, by the way, let's talk to this for everybody else. A lot of our websites are too busy. My website's actually too busy. I've thought about that here recently. The simpler, the clearer, the cleaner it is for you when I hit that website, just making it so obvious that the only thing I can really do 90% of the time is either click on, are you a homeowner or are you a member? And boom, then all of a sudden it's just really clear, and you can build that site specifically for them instead of trying to do this, this little dance of trying to weave both together. So just trying to separate it very clearly, and also just less is more, less is more. Cool. So it's 12:01. We've answered all of the questions that have kind of popped through. Anybody else have anything else that they want to toss out there? I don't know what they could have been doing on a Friday morning that would have been more enjoyable and worthwhile than this show.
I don't know. I couldn't have been doing anything better than this.
It's all good. Yeah. So
go ahead, Kyle.
No, I was just gonna thank some of I see a lot of familiar names on the participant list, and just from my end, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, likewise. Big shout out to Kyle. Thank you so much, Kyle. Besides being a host, you've added a ton of value and smart experience. I think it was a really, really good synergy. I hope that the audience, you guys, remodelers, really got a lot of value out of it. Again, feel free to click this link or paste this link to your browser. You can chat or follow with any sort of questions. Again, Kyle and I are both, we try to lead with our giving hand and really try to provide as much value as possible. So I look forward to interacting with as many of you as possible. We'll be sending out the link to the recording, and that's all.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everyone.